guys, I thought it would be a good idea and like kind of a fun video to film something more along the lines of like books, you know, like I like to read. I love reading. I think I actually started reading before I was even in pre-K. I already learned how to read. My first book I remember was Cinderella. Not like the novel or anything, but like, you know, those like short ones are like that and they have a lot of pictures and like, I don't know, a few words in each paragraph. Anyways, but that was the first book I ever learned how to read and I taught myself. I thought I was pretty proud of myself. I actually learned because my parents would read to me, so I picked up from like their pronunciations and all that. Anyways, off topic a little bit. So I wanted to go over like what I like to read, and you know I like to watch videos on what other people prefer reading and like the kind of hauls they do. I like to see like what their interests are, and so I thought it'd be fun to kind of list mine. As you notice by the title, I'm picky about books. I'm picky about my books, and let me just fix this here. Okay. I am pretty picky about my books, and I'm going to go over what I like and dislike about books and how I go about picking books for myself that I choose to read. So the first things first, I don't like hardcovers. I really don't. I love the way they look. Don't get me wrong. I love how they look on display and everything, but I don't really care for hardcovers. I'm not saying I don't own any. I just don't prefer them. Like I said, I love the way they look. They're nice and sleek. But these little dust jackets, like, they get in the way, they slide off. So if I ever read one of my hardbacks, I always take the dust jacket off. But then it's like so hard to, like, for me it's difficult to keep it open because it's so hard, and it's like I'm holding it and it's like, it's hard. You see how this is coming undone? It's not fun. And it's like I'm holding the book here and it's like I'm holding a rock. It's like, you know, I like the soft covers where I can just like enjoy it and relax my fingers and my hands. Anyways, so I don't particularly gravitate towards a hardcover book. I do have them, and mainly because if I find a book I really like and it's on sale, I'll just buy it. So yeah. So that's my one little nitpickiness of my book choosings. Another one is size preferences. Like, I have 3 Nicholas Sparks books here. All 3 are different sizes. You have the, I guess these are like the mass market ones. I don't know. To me, I like that they're more compact, but I don't like that they're smaller, and I don't know, that I just don't really care for these. I mean, like I said, I own them and I will read them, but if I walked into a bookstore and these are my 3 options, I'm going to pick the middle one. See how this just keeps sliding off? Okay, so this is my size preference right here. I don't even know what they call these, but I like this a lot better. And it's flimsier, so you see how it bends there? It's like nicer on my paddings of my fingers, you know, it feels good. And then it's just easier to open and it's easier to read, because these open a lot bigger than the hardcover, and then these little ones, the bindings are so tight. So it's just kind of easier to read, and then the prints are usually a lot better. That's just my preference. I told you I was picky. But like I said, I do own all of these and I will read them. It's just not my preference, but I will read it. So those are my dislikes on that, and as you can see, these are all Nicholas Sparks books. I own every single one except for his new one, Safe Haven. I haven't gotten that one yet because it's in hardback right now. I'm waiting for it to come out on paperback. Yeah. Another thing I dislike, I do not like paying full price for books. It's just me. I don't like it. I don't think a book is worth $20 and up. How much is this? It doesn't say. To me, I don't think a book is worth $24.95 or whatever the price is for a hardback. That's just outrageous. I don't like to spend more than $7 or $8 on a book, and I'd have to really, really be wanting it to spend that much. I usually get all my books at Half Price Books. Those of y'all that don't have one of those, basically you can sell and buy books, CDs, anything there. And they sell it right away with, it's half off the cover price. So if this was $24.95, it would be $12.50 at Half Price Books. So again, it's still out of my price range, but it's always half the price of the cover. And they always have sales, and sometimes they're a lot cheaper. And the clearance items, they have clearance items for $1, $2, and $3. So all my Nicholas Sparks books that I own were $1 or $2. I believe this was $2 when I bought it. And I take off all the stickers. I don't like the price tags on there. Another thing I don't like, when they put price tags on the actual book. I hate that. Like the actual sticky tags, I don't like that. Ooh, I'm sounding so in this video. But anyways, it gets in the way of the cover art, and it makes it all sticky when you remove it, and it's tacky. It's like, I'm going to be sitting there reading, and people are going to know I spent $7.95 on this novel. Who cares? Like, really, who cares if you spent that much money on that novel? Anyways, so that's another pet peeve, I guess, about books. So yeah, that's why all my Nicholas Sparks books are all random. At least I'm not picking up to where I have to buy them all the same size. That doesn't bother me. It gets a little annoying when they're like staggered, because I like to organize mine by publication dates. Am I weird? I don't know. I like to organize them by publication dates. So yeah, they're going to be staggered, like, kind of looks like the EKG strips with the heart rate. Anyways, I'm too much of a nurse, I know. Anywho, but yeah, that doesn't really get on my nerves too much. I like them organized by publication dates, and I like to read them by order of publication date. So that's that. What else do I not like? Oh, I don't like distressed pages. Like, this is Summer at Tiffany by Marjorie Hart. Can you see the distressed pages? You see what I'm talking about? I don't like that. I think it's so unfinished, and it doesn't look professional to me. I would like it on an old binding kind of book, but nothing newer, you know? Like, it doesn't fit with the, like, this book, you wouldn't think it would be like that. I would think it'd be more polished and prim, and, you know, like, I don't like the distressed pages at all. It annoys me, and for me, it's hard to turn the pages. Also, I have The Wedding by Nicholas Sparks, and it's like that too. And to be honest, I haven't read this book because of the pages. And this book, I haven't read either, but I plan to, and I'm going to try and get over my aggression or obsession or whatever about the pages. Anyway, that's another thing I don't like. Oh, another one I do not like. Let me just say first, I love buying books. I like reading books that have become a movie, because I figure if they're good enough in a book form, in a novel form, that someone would want to create a movie out of it. It's got to be good, right? So that's my theory, my mentality on it. It's not always the same. I mean, some books really do suck, and the movies just suck along with them, for lack of better vocabulary there. But what I can't stand is I will not buy a book that has, like, the movie images on it, like the actors. I will not. I prefer the original cover art. So, for instance, if I'm inside, like, okay, Twilight, for instance. If this book was $12 right here, and it had the original cover, and next to it was the same size book, but it had Bella and Edward on it, the actual movie cast, that one was $6, I wouldn't buy it. I would buy this one instead. Again, I wouldn't spend that much money on any book, but I'm just saying, like, that's just my preference. I will not buy a book with the movie art on it. It has to be original cover art, because it's the original. I feel like it's known for its content and not for the movie, so it shouldn't be entitled to be privileged over it because of it's made into a movie. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm probably sounding really stupid. Okay, so now on to things I do like. Yay! How about that? I spent 9 minutes talking about stuff I don't like. Okay, things I like. When I go into a bookstore, I gravitate first towards the sales. I'm not gonna lie, that's the first thing I go for. And I read and see what they have in the sale section, if any of that interests me. The second thing I go for is cover art. Like Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. I think the cover art is so awesome. I have not read this book yet. Let me see that. If the cover looks awesome, I'll grab it and read. That's what gets me to pull it off the shelf and read the summary, the synopsis in the back. So that's one thing I go for, is cover art. Another thing I go for is books in a series. If I know there's a book in a series, I'll go for those type of books. I love reading books in a series. I prefer it over, like, single novels, but that, again, my preference. So for instance, I have the House of Night series. I have the first 4 marked, betrayed, chosen, and untamed. The other ones I have on my Nook book. So yeah, this is a series I gravitated towards. Twilight's another series book. Some other ones here. Lauren Conrad's LA Candy series. It's LA Candy's Sweet Little Lies and Sugar and Spice. And also if it's if I bought a book from a previous, like from an author, and she comes out with other novels, I kind of, if I like her writing style, or his writing style, I'm saying her because my next one's a female author, excuse me, but if I like their writing style, I will purchase every book they've ever written. So for instance, Lauren Weisberger, Devil Wears Prada, again, original cover art, no movie cover art. I liked her writing style, so I ended up getting her Everyone Worth Knowing book and Chasing Harry Winston. And for her books, I had to keep getting them the same size. I don't know why, but with hers, I had to keep continuing getting these in the hardcover. What else? So yeah, like I said, books to movies. I love reading books that are they're novels and eventually they get turned into movies. Examples would be like The Secret Life of Bees. I have not read this book yet or seen the movie. Another thing, I like to read the books before I see the movies. So like for The Notebook, I read it and then I went out and bought the movie and watched it. Twilight, I read the first book and then like 20 minutes later I went out and saw it when it was in theaters. So that's what I like to do. I do not like to see the movies before I read the books, but sometimes it happens that way. Can't think of one right off the top of the bat. There's been a couple where I've seen them and I have the book and haven't read it yet. Oh, The Last Song. I haven't read that one yet, but I saw the movie. Another one is The Time Traveler's Wife. The Lovely Bones. And this is one I just pulled off the shelf. Must Love Dogs by Claire Cook. And this is a movie I haven't seen either. Okay, I'm going to break there and then I'm just going to refilm and attach it to this one, edit it all right because I'm running out of time and I need to clear up my space on my memory card. So I will be back. Okay, so I am back and we will continue this book preference video. Wow, okay. So I left off on talking about books that have turned into movies. The next thing I like is classic literature books. And I haven't read many classic literature, but I really want to get into it because, I mean, they're classics for a reason, you know what I mean? So the first one I have is The Scarlet Letter. And this is like the old copy. This was when a book was $1.50. Can you see that? $1.50 for a book. Nowadays, books are like this size, or like, what, $6.99? So yeah, FYI, if I did buy this book at Half Price Books, so it was 50% off of $1.50. So I got this book for 75 cents. Go me. I think it was like 81 cents with tax. Okay, brainiac, I know. I used to work at a dollar store, so I know tax really well. Okay, the next one is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. And I don't know if this one has the price on it. This one was $1.50 as well. Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. This one was $1.25. I love getting books at a discounted price. It's amazing. And then Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. It's 2 books in one. This is the Barnes & Noble edition, and this is by Lewis Carroll. So, yeah, that's another thing I like is classic literature books. Another thing, style and makeup books. That's another thing I gravitate towards. I have the 5-Minute Face by Carmody. And she's a makeup artist in New York, and she also comes out in that show What Not to Wear on TLC, which is like my favorite show, and I'm so sad that like the last season I haven't even gotten into because I've been so busy with work. But speaking of What Not to Wear, I also have Dress Your Best with Stacey London and Clinton Kelly. These are the hosts of What Not to Wear on TLC, and I love this show. I've been watching it since I graduated high school back in '04, so yeah, it's pretty good. And this is a fashion and style kind of thing, but this is more of like dressing for your body type kind of, and you know, it's like a self-help, like what would look good on you. And then I have the Lauren Conrad Style. I love her. She is so gorgeous. I have not even read this book. I've only kind of skimmed through it. These types of books, like style and makeup books, I don't mind that they be hardcover. I'd prefer it because it lasts longer. And again, they look so beautiful when they're displayed. And these are going to go like in my makeup area. These books I do not mind spending the full price for. I wouldn't mind if they were on discount, but I wouldn't mind, like, I would spend the full amount on these books. But of course I'm a bargain hunter. I'll go and look for the best deals possible wherever I can. So yeah, I think this book was $19.99, and my fiance bought this for me at Target, and I think it was on sale for like $12. And actually, now that I think about it, he's bought me all these books. Is he trying to tell me something? I'm just kidding. No, he knows I love makeup, and he knows I love what not to wear, and he knows I love Lauren Conrad, so of course, he's such a sweetheart. Gosh, I love him so damn much. Okay, another one is Chick Lit. It's basically chick flicks in book form. So, some examples of that is Confessions of a Shopaholic, which is again a movie. Now, Bergdorf Blondes by Plum Sykes. Sykes? I don't know. I don't like saying people's names because I don't know how to pronounce them. Sex and the City by Candace Bushnell. Bushnell. See? I told you. And How to Teach Filthy Rich Girls by Zoe Dean. I know I got that name right. Stuff like that, like that basically would be a chick flick in book form is what I like to read. I think they're fun to read, they're funny, and it really helps like capture you in the moment. And the last type of things I like reading are paranormal books and vampire books. I have always been a fan of vampire books ever since I was younger. I'm 25, so it's been a long time since I was younger. I have the first 3 Vampire Diaries, and back then those were the original 3 and those were the only 3. By L.J. Smith. So I don't have those with me. Those are in storage somewhere back at my hometown where my parents are. But yeah, I read those back in junior high, so that was like 10 years ago, 12 years ago. And yeah, they were pretty good. So another classic vampire book would be the Vampire Chronicles series by Anne Rice, and the first one is Interview with the Vampire, which is again made into a movie. That's what it looks like there. So I want to get into reading this, and that's a movie that I've seen and haven't read the book yet. So yeah, that was it. I better cut off here, make sure this loads correctly. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'm sorry if it was kind of like, I don't like this and I don't like this, but it's just everyone has preferences, guys, and I just wanted to express mine. And just kind of give you an idea of like how I go into a bookstore and pick out books to read and what I like to read. So I hope y'all enjoyed this, and I will see y'all in my next video. And I have an idea for my next video, so I'm going to try and film it and see how that works out. And I will get back to y'all later. Bye!